Inner ear. This is the most intricate part of the ear, consisting of the cochlea, responsible for hearing, the vestibule, and the semicircular canals, responsible for balance. Inside the cochlea are special hair cells that transform mechanical vibrations into electrical signals, which are then carried to the brain by the auditory nerve. At the same time, the vestibule and semicircular canals sense body movements and position, sending signals to the brain to maintain balance. In summary, the ear is not only an organ of hearing but also a sophisticated sensory system that helps us interact with our environment by perceiving sounds and keeping our balance. The ear is a highly complex sensory organ with two vital functions, hearing and balance. Anatomically, it is divided into three main parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Each part has its own unique structures and responsibilities, but together they work in harmony to allow us to perceive sounds and maintain our balance. Outer ear. This includes the auricle, pinna, and the ear canal. The auricle acts like a natural antenna, collecting sound waves and directing them toward the eardrum. Middle ear, located just behind the eardrum, this part contains three tiny bones called the malleus, hammer, incus, anvil, and stapes, stirrup. These bones amplify sound vibrations and transmit them to the inner ear. The eustachian tube is also part of the middle ear, helping to equalize air pressure. Helix. The helix is the outer rim of the external ear. It starts from the upper part of the ear, curves around, and ends near the earlobe. Composed of elastic cartilage, it gives the ear its characteristic curved shape. Function: helps collect and direct sound waves into the auditory canal. Antihelix. The antihelix is an inner curved ridge of cartilage, running parallel and just inside the helix. It forms a Y-shaped structure in the upper ear. Function: contributes to the structure and contour of the ear, and assists in reflecting sound waves. Tragus. The tragus is a small cartilaginous projection of the external ear located in front of the external auditory canal. Features and location. Made of elastic cartilage and covered with thin skin. Extends slightly backward, partially covering the ear canal. Functions. Provides partial protection for the ear canal against dust, particles, and foreign objects. Helps reduce sounds coming from behind, that's why pressing on the tragus with a finger lowers outside noise. Assists in directing and amplifying sound waves into the auditory canal. Antitragus. The antitragus is a small cartilaginous projection located opposite the tragus, just above the earlobe. Features and location. Composed of elastic cartilage covered with skin. Separated from the tragus by the intertragic notch, incisura intertragica. Smaller and less prominent compared to the tragus. Earlobe, lobule. The earlobe is the soft, fleshy, lower part of the ear. Unlike most of the ear, it contains fat and connective tissue but no cartilage. Function: while it has no major role in hearing, it contributes to the overall shape and balance of the ear, and is a common site for piercings. Eardrum, tympanic membrane, is a thin, semi-transparent membrane that separates the outer ear from the middle ear. It plays a vital role in the hearing process. Characteristics: about 8 to 10 mm in diameter. Very thin and delicate. Composed of 3 layers, an outer, thin skin, a middle, fibrous tissue for strength, and an inner layer, lining of the middle ear. Functions: sound transmission, vibrates in response to sound waves entering the ear canal. Amplification, transfers vibrations to the ossicles, malleus, incus, stapes, in the middle ear. Protection, acts as a barrier to prevent foreign objects and microbes from entering the middle ear. Clinical importance: eardrum perforation may occur due to infection, trauma, or loud noise, leading to temporary or permanent hearing loss. Doctors use an otoscope to examine it. The malleus is the first and largest of the 3 ossicles in the middle ear. It sits just behind the eardrum, tympanic membrane, and directly connects to it. Key features. Name: the term malleus comes from Latin, meaning hammer, because of its hammer-like shape. Location: attached to the tympanic membrane and connected to the incus. Size: about 8 to 9 mm in length, making it the largest of the auditory ossicles. Parts: head, articulates with the body of the incus. Neck, narrow section between the head and handle. Handle, manubrium firmly attached to the eardrum. Anterior and lateral processes serve as attachment points for ligaments. Function: the malleus is the first transmitter of sound vibrations. When sound waves cause the eardrum to vibrate, these vibrations are carried through the handle of the malleus, then passed on to the incus, and finally to the stapes. The incus bone is one of the 3 tiny ossicles of the middle ear, positioned between the malleus and the stapes. Main features. Name: it is called incus, Latin for anvil, because its shape resembles a blacksmith's anvil. Location: found in the middle of the ossicular chain, connecting the malleus on one side and the stapes on the other. Size, very small, a few millimeters, but larger than the stapes. Shape, it consists of a body and two processes. Long process, connects to the stapes. Short process, anchors against the wall of the middle ear cavity. Function, the incus acts like a lever. It receives sound vibrations from the malleus, attached to the eardrum, and transmits them to the stapes. This efficient transfer ensures that sound waves are properly amplified and passed into the inner ear. Without the incus working correctly, hearing would be significantly impaired. The stapes is the smallest bone in the human body, located in the middle ear. It is part of the ossicular chain, which consists of the malleus, incus, and stapes. Key features and functions. Shape, it resembles a stirrup, hence the name stapes. Size, about 3 mm in length, making it the tiniest bone in the body. Connections, its head articulates with the incus, and its base, the footplate, rests on the oval window of the inner ear. Function, it transmits sound vibrations from the incus to the fluid of the inner ear, cochlea, where mechanical vibrations are converted into nerve signals. In short, the stapes acts as a bridge between the middle ear and the inner ear, playing a crucial role in the process of hearing. The vestibule of the inner ear is the central part of the bony labyrinth, located between the cochlea, in front, and the semicircular canals, behind. It plays a key role in balance and the perception of head position. Structure. The vestibule acts as a central cavity. It contains two main sensory organs. Utricle, sensitive to horizontal movements, e.g., moving forward or backward. Saccule, sensitive to vertical movements, e.g., moving up or down in an elevator. Both contain hair cells covered by tiny calcium carbonate crystals called otoliths. When the head tilts or accelerates, the otoliths shift, bending the hair cells and generating nerve signals. Function. Detects linear acceleration, straight line movements. Detects head position relative to gravity, e.g., leaning forward or backward. Sends sensory signals through the vestibular nerve to the brain to help maintain posture and balance. The semicircular canals are part of the inner ear and play a crucial role in maintaining balance and detecting head movements. Number and orientation. There are 3 semicircular canals, positioned roughly at right angles to each other, each responsible for detecting different head movements. Anterior, superior, canal, detects forward and backward movements of the head, like nodding, yes. Posterior canal, detects tilting movements of the head toward the shoulders. Lateral, horizontal, canal, detects rotational movements of the head, like shaking, no. Internal structure. Each canal is filled with a fluid called endolymph. At the base of each canal is a swelling called the ampulla, which contains sensory hair cells. When the head moves, the endolymph shifts, bending the hair cells and generating nerve signals. Function. Sends information about balance to the vestibular nerve and then to the brain. Helps maintain body posture during movement. The cochlea is a spiral-shaped structure of the inner ear responsible for the sense of hearing. Its name comes from its snail-like shape, making about 2.5 turns around its axis. Structure. It consists of 3 parallel chambers. Scala vestibuli, upper chamber, filled with perilymph. Scala media, cochlear duct, filled with endolymph and containing the organ of Corti, the main sensory organ for hearing. Scala tympani, lower chamber, filled with perilymph. The organ of Corti, located on the basilar membrane, contains hair cells that act as sensory receptors. Function. Sound waves enter the cochlea via vibrations from the stapes, stirrup bone. These vibrations move the fluid inside the cochlea. Fluid movement causes the basilar membrane to vibrate. The hair cells of the organ of Corti bend and convert mechanical energy into electrical signals. These signals travel through the cochlear nerve, a branch of cranial nerve 8, to the brain, where they are interpreted as sound.